Thank you so much for joining us this evening to learn how you can save money on an EV with our EV discount campaigns. My name is Annika Osborne, and I'm with Cool the Earth. We're an environmental nonprofit with a mission to reduce carbon emissions and local air pollution. While we are big fans of walking, biking, public transit, and carpooling, preferably in an EV, with our Ride and Drive Clean collaboration, we work to advance the adoption of electric vehicles, both EVs and e-bikes, in a fair and just marketplace. I'd like to thank Peninsula Clean Energy, San Jose Clean Energy, and Silicon Valley Clean Energy for sponsoring tonight's webinar and our upcoming September EV discount campaign. Here's our agenda for the presentation. We'll talk first a little bit about the benefits of driving electric, and then we'll dive into EV incentives, including our EV discount campaign and the clean vehicle tax credit, the federal tax credit that will be going away on September 30th. We'll do an EV showcase with some of the most popular and affordable EVs out there. And then we'll talk a bit about how to EV, including charging with clean energy from our clean energy providers, who are also our sponsors. And then we will do a Q&A at the end. So we will be going over lots of information this evening, but not to worry. I'll be sending out a PDF of this presentation and the recording as well in our follow-up email, which will go out tomorrow. It will come from info@Ride and Drive Clean. If any questions come up, feel free to raise your hand, or you can ask a question in the chat. My colleague Sienna is here, and she will help answer questions. And we'll make sure all of your questions are answered if we don't get to them during the presentation, during our Q&A at the very end. All right, let's dive in. So there are many benefits to driving electric. In California, our passenger vehicles are the single largest source of GHG emissions, often representing 50% of our individual carbon footprint. So when we switch from a gas car to an EV and plug into clean energy like we can here in the Bay Area, we are taking impactful climate action by reducing carbon emissions and air pollution, both which disproportionately impact our priority communities. And while driving electric is better for the planet, there's no sacrifice when you go electric. EV drivers save time, money, and enjoy an improved driving experience. EVs are a little more fun to drive. What I really like is the extra torque or power that you get when you drive an EV. I can quickly accelerate when getting on the freeway and easily maneuver between lanes, just kind of power up and glide into where I want to go. I love the quiet, smooth drive, which makes for great conversations while you're on a road trip. And with all of the additional safety features and sensors in these high-tech cars, EVs are some of the safest cars available. Before I talk about the total cost of ownership, I'd like to address the current lay of the land in terms of EVs and pricing. So the implementation of tariffs is causing a lot of uncertainty for auto manufacturers, which is already impacting pricing and inventory on new EVs. And we are seeing the price increase trickle down to the used EV market already. The federal clean vehicle tax credit for new and used EVs is currently still available, but the last day to take advantage of this federal tax credit is September 30th. So you need to purchase your car before September 30th if you would like to benefit from the federal tax credit. So we believe now really is a good time to buy or lease an EV, and Ride and Drive Clean is here to help you go electric. So back to the total cost of ownership. While early EV drivers paid a premium to drive electric, today's EV drivers often save money. And here are some reasons why. It costs much less to fuel an EV. So fueling a gas car can be 2 to 5 times more expensive than fueling an EV, depending upon where and when you charge your EV. Maintenance costs are 40% lower for a fully electric EV. It's basically adding windshield wiper fluid and rotating your tires. And then there are incentives available which can help bring down the cost of purchasing or leasing an EV. There are currently 4 types of incentives. First of all, the Ride and Drive Clean EV discount campaigns are going on this August and September, really through the end of September, so that people can take advantage of not only our exclusive discounts offered during the discount campaign, but also the stacked federal tax credit. The federal tax credit, or clean vehicle credit, is available as a rebate when you buy many new EVs, and many of the new EVs qualify for a $7,500 tax rebate. And I'll share a list shortly. There's a pre-owned EV rebate for 30% of the cost of a used EV, up to $4,000. And finally, when you lease an EV, the commercial credit can be applied to many EVs. There are no requirements when you lease an EV, and there are some amazing incentives right now. All of these credits are going away, whether you purchase or lease a new EV or purchase a used EV. These credits are all going away on September 30th. There are also California state grants available for residents with lower incomes. And this is Clean Cars for All is a retire and replace program. You do need to retire a 2007 or older gas car that is in working condition. The Clean Cars for All program has been on pause for a while, and we're hearing that it is going to be coming back at the end of this month. There is currently available the Drive Clean Assistance Program. It is available for $7,500. And for both of these grants, you do need to apply for these in advance, and you need to receive the grant, have it in your hands before you go and work with a dealer. So it's not something that you can claim afterwards. There are also, depending upon where you live and who provides your electricity, there may be additional incentives through your utility or CCA, who offer special discounts, and we'll be going over many of those shortly. Some of your local CCAs are also the sponsors of this webinar, so Peninsula Clean Energy, San Jose Clean Energy, and Silicon Valley Clean Energy. So even though those CCAs may be providing your electricity, you would still be getting your bill from PG&E, and PG&E also has a rebate available for $1,000 for anybody who buys a used EV, and up to $4,000 depending upon your income. So I'm going to dive in and talk a little bit about our EV discount campaign, since that is what this webinar is truly about. So a little bit about the history. Our organization, we are a nonprofit organization, and we realized early on that one of the biggest barriers for people going electric was the initial cost of buying or leasing an EV. So we teamed up with Cartelligent, a highly regarded car concierge service for EV discount campaigns. So at certain times of the year, they are able to negotiate exclusive discounts, and that's when we offer these campaigns. So with Cartelligent, we have helped thousands of people save thousands on EVs over the past 6 years. We've been doing these for quite a while. Here's how it works. So Ride and Drive Clean organizes the campaign and offers education like this webinar this evening. And our partner, Cartelligent, handles the purchase or lease transaction. What you do is you will fill out or submit a form on the Ride and Drive Clean page. A Cartelligent advisor will contact you within 24 hours to discuss EV models and discount campaign pricing to make sure you get the right EV for your lifestyle and budget. You'll confirm your preferred trim, color, and pricing. And during our discount campaigns, if you choose to buy or lease one of the select EVs on the campaign, the service fee is waived. Typically, it's $595. So that's a real incentive. Cartelligent will find great EV options for you to choose from, and then you can pick from those options. And once you've decided which one you want, they will have it delivered to one of Cartelligent's California locations in Irvine, Menlo Park, Sausalito, or Walnut Creek. You will come to this location, sign your contract, pick up your EV, and you'll even receive a tutorial, a personal tutorial on the car. We are going to be offering a discount campaign with our current funders in September. And we will be emailing everybody who signs up for this campaign when the campaign goes live, which will be the first week of September, around the 5th or 6th of September. So that is one option. And currently, we have an August discount campaign. So that is another option. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this August campaign, discount campaign right now. And if you could put the link to this one as well, Sienna, that would be great. So currently, during our EV discount campaign, we are offering exclusive discounts on 4 EVs, the Cadillac Lyriq, the Honda Prologue, the Ioniq 5, and the Volkswagen ID4. And as you can see, for each of these, there is a line that says exclusive discounts. So, for example, I'm just going to look at the Honda Prologue. The exclusive discount is $2,500. So that's an exclusive discount that our partner Cartelligent has negotiated with several local dealerships. That's something that you would probably not be able to, you would not be able to get that, through if you go directly to the dealer. This is a special discount that Cartelligent has negotiated. So whether you lease it, pay cash, or finance, that $2,500 discount stands. If you lease it, in addition, there is a lease rebate for up to $16,500. And that stacks on top of the $2,500. If you decide to purchase or finance, there's a discount of $7,500. That's the federal tax credit. So those would stack together. And if you qualify for a conquest or loyalty rebate, you would get an additional $3,500. A conquest rebate is if you currently have a similar type of car at home, you don't even have to trade it in, you would get a conquest rebate. And a loyalty rebate, let's say you already have a Honda Odyssey or a different Honda, whatever Honda you have, that would be a loyalty rebate. So there are many, many ways to save. As you can see with some of these cars, there are stackable Costco discounts and such. So if you are interested in one of these 4 EVs, it's a good time to go test drive these EVs. It's a good time to sign up for the discount campaign if you're ready to talk to our partner Cartelligent. And we will be launching our September campaign. We're not really sure which EVs will be on that campaign. We won't really know about EV models or pricing until a little later, that first week in September. Okay, so I'm going to talk now about the federal tax credit when you purchase new EVs. It's officially called the Clean Vehicle Credit, but it is essentially the federal tax credit or rebate, as we call it now. The credit is available for many EVs, about 20 EVs. I'll show you on the next slide which EVs qualify. It's available for $7,500. It is available also as a point of sale rebate at the dealership. So you actually get this $7,500. You can use it as your down payment. It's not something that you deal with when you file your taxes. So that's really great. And no tax liability is required. There are some requirements, though. Here are the income caps. And I know sometimes these are challenging for people who live in the Bay Area. Certain EVs qualify. The final assembly has to be in the USA. There are battery requirements. The dealer has to be registered with the IRS. The owner can't be claimed as the dependent, and the The contract has to be signed by September 30th, 2025. I want to just address an alternative to this before we talk about the vehicles that are available. An alternative that doesn't have any requirements. That's actually leasing an EV. So if you lease an EV, there are no income caps, there are no, vehicle price limits. The final assembly does not have to be in the USA, no battery requirements. So that is why many people are leasing their EVs. I just saw a statistic today that 3/4 of all EV transactions are leases. So most people are leasing. And I'll talk a little bit more about leasing versus buying later on in this webinar. So here's a list of the EVs that qualify for the federal tax credit when you purchase or finance. This will end on September 30th. So there are some super popular EVs on here. That Cadillac Lyriq we've been seeing around quite a bit, the Chevy Blazer, the Equinox, very popular, great lease deals. We have the Honda Prologue, a couple Hyundais, the Kias, and a couple Teslas, actually all of the Teslas. So many EVs to choose from if you decide to purchase or finance an EV and you want to take advantage of the federal tax credit for $7,500. So even though this webinar is more focused on new EVs because our discount campaign is for new EVs, I'm just going to touch a little bit on the federal tax credit for pre-owned EVs because this is also going away on September 30th. So it is available for 30% of the sale price up to $4,000. It's also available at point of sale, so it can be a down payment. No tax liability is required. As you'll notice, the income caps are half the amount as for purchasing or financing a new EV. And there's a vehicle price cap, $25,000. It needs to be a model year 2023 or older, and each vehicle can only use this credit once. I will let you know there are many EVs out there used EVs out there for less than $25,000. I know there are many Chevy Bolts out there, for example, hovering around $18,000 and several others under $25,000. I mentioned the Chevy Bolt because the Chevy Bolt is a compact car. A lot of people are looking for a compact kind of car with a hatch. It also has a very robust electric range of over 200. So when you're buying a used EV, that's something to consider. Again, September 30th, 2025 is the last day. Okay, before I move on and talk a little bit, do my EV showcase, I want to see if there are any outstanding questions. Oh yeah, Min actually asked a really good question. It is true. It is sad that starting also September 30th, we will no longer have access to the carpool lane as a single passenger. So we will have to follow the other rules of the carpool lanes, like 2 or 3 passengers in the vehicle. Okay, so with so many different EVs and all the benefits to driving electric, the question is, which EV is the right one for you? On the next slides, I have listed the starting price of many popular EVs. And I just really want to emphasize at this point in the game, there is truly an EV for every lifestyle and budget. When I started doing this work 7 years ago, there were 10 EVs available, and that wasn't the case. But now there are over 100 EVs out there. I also want to note that most fully electric EVs offer 250 to over 300 miles of range. Some will, go even farther on one charge. The Lucid goes, to 400 miles. That means you can go from Silicon Valley, the peninsula, up to Tahoe with maybe just a 15-minute charging break. And on your way home, because EVs have something called regenerative braking, you may not even have to charge at all, depending upon your EV. Here come the EVs. So in this next section, I'll be doing an EV showcase with some popular EVs. that have been around for a while, some that are newer, some that have just come out this year. The prices listed are the base MSRP, and I have starred the ones that qualify for the federal tax credit. And before I get started, I would like to just note that the average price of a new car in the United States this year is $48,000. So there are many EVs available under $48,000. And, when you calculate in the federal tax credit that many qualify for, they are significantly less than that average cost. So the Nissan Leaf has been around since 2011. Many people are still driving their early model Leafs now with limited range, but enough for running errands around town. The 2026 Nissan Leaf is coming out revamped with over 300 miles of range. And while the US market is trending toward bigger cars and trucks, SUVs, some people are still looking for smaller options. The Hyundai Kona and the Kia Niro EV are small crossover EVs built on the same platform. They have been very popular since they came out in 2019. They have both also been updated in the last year or two, so they have kind of a refreshed look, which is really nice. Chevy has been mixing it up a bit with some new models, including the Chevy Equinox, which has a very reasonable MSRP, and in addition qualifies for the federal tax credit if you purchase or lease. The ID4 is the first from the Volkswagen ID brand and has recently been updated. That is one of the EVs on our discount campaign for August. People love their Mustang Mach-E's. They're one of the most popular EVs out there. When we look at which EVs people are purchasing, the Kias and Hyundais on this slide all have vehicle-to-load capabilities. So you can power a refrigerator or other large appliance with the energy that's stored in the car battery for a week or so if there's a power outage. If you have one of these EVs, there's no need for a gas generator at home, and they're great for zero emissions camping if you're a fan of camping. You just need a portable induction cooktop and an electric kettle, and you'll be good to go. In addition, these EVs offer very fast charging. So on road trips, they can charge from 10 to 80% in 18 minutes, just enough time to stretch your legs and get a beverage. With Tesla, we like to focus on the technology and their excellent public charging. People love Teslas for their fast, easy, and reliable charging, and for the technology. You manage Teslas through your phone app, and that technology works very, very well. The Model 3 and Y are the most affordable models, and several trims qualify for the federal tax credit. These are efficient, safe cars, and the Model Y actually has an optional third row and seats 7 passengers. These models have both been updated recently. So these next models are very competitive to that $48,000 average car price. So the Honda Prologue is hugely popular. It came out last spring, so in 2024, and since then about 60,000 have been sold. It does qualify for the federal tax credit, and it is on our EV discount campaign, so a really great choice. The Polestar is a nicely appointed EV. Polestar is a sister company of Volvo. The Audi Q4 e-tron comes in at a great price, $20,000 less than a regular Audi e-tron, and the Chevy Blazer has a good amount of space and great towing capacity. It's a little higher end than the Chevy Equinox that we saw on a previous slide, and I'm hearing that the lease pricing on the Chevy Blazer and the Equinox is not too far off. So you might be getting a higher end car for a really good lease price with the Chevy Blazer. Don't be scared off by the starting price of these EVs. As you can see, many of these qualify for the federal tax credit, and many of them also have excellent lease pricing. The Cadillac Lyriq not only qualifies for the federal tax credit, but it's also on our EV discount campaign so we offer that exclusive discount. I'm hearing Lucid Air. Okay, so Lucid Air has an amazing electric range. It is the most efficient EV on the market. And I'm hearing that the lease prices are $599 for a car at this sort of class. That is an excellent lease price, and that's with $2,500 down. If finding a parking spot is often on your mind, one of these smaller EVs should be on your radar. The Volvo EX30 came out last year. It's a really popular car. Volvo says it is small in size and big on safety. The Fiat 500e was popular for many years. It first came out in 2017 with a very low range, less like around 100 or so. It was re-released this year with a higher range, 149, but for some reason they stopped manufacturing this car. You might still be able to get this one on the new market. It's certainly available on the used market. It is a very cute car. Sorry, that's subjective, but it's one of my favorite cute little cars, little EVs out there. The Mini Cooper EV comes with significantly more range than the current model, but it has been delayed until 2027, unfortunately. On the other spectrum of things, if you're looking for a bigger EV, here are a few options. The Kia EV9 was voted the car of the year in 2024. It has some really cool programs with Wallbox, which is an inverter. So you can actually, we talked a little bit about some of those Hyundais and Kias having vehicle to load capability because they have bidirectional batteries. Well, with this Wallbox inverter, there's a pilot going on right now. So on a daily basis, you can actually charge your home in the evenings when you come home when electricity is very expensive with the energy that's in that battery, and then charge it up during the time of use rates when things are really, during the off-peak time of use rates when electricity is really inexpensive. So that's really innovative, and it's been a very popular car, as is the next car, the Volkswagen ID Buzz. It has a range of features and functionalities that enhance its usability for camping, road trips, and other outdoor activities. So you can kind of configure the seats in different ways. We had somebody come to one of our EV shows, and they had kind of a standard mattress that kind of fit really nicely back there. So they use it for camping. Really fun car, and it comes in super bright colors. The Rivian R1S is a large SUV built for adventurers. And Rivian has been accommodating adventurers all around the country by installing fast chargers in far-reaching places like national parks. The Mercedes EQB has a nice price. Wow. I just read this morning, it's leasing in the 300s. Lease prices always depend on your credit scores and such, but some people are able to lease that Mercedes for a really, really good value right now. These trucks are basically generators at home and batteries on wheels on the road. These are all available right now on the market. The regular F-150 truck is the most popular car in the United States. So the Lightning has followed suit and has also become very popular. The Silverado EV pickup truck has a foldable rear bulkhead, which can extend the bed length to over 9 feet. It also has advanced towing technology and up to 11 outlets, so you can power things up. That's really nice for people who need electricity in their business during the day, landscapers, contractors, etc. And yes, we have this Rivian R1T truck. And I wanted to note that Rivian is due to release maybe not a truck, I haven't seen that on their website, but at least an R2S. So a smaller SUV and an R3S. Sorry, I should have talked about this on the last slide when I was showcasing the SUV. But so these will be coming out in the next year or so, I think 2026 model year. So maybe not as long of a range, but a lower starting price. And yes, close to 2 million people ordered the Tesla Cybertruck. I will note that although it looks a little daunting on the outside, I have test driven it and it feels like a regular Tesla on the inside and really cool. All four wheels turn, so the turning radius is really quite excellent. I believe also there's a Ram EV truck as well on the market. All right, so I only have one slide for plug-in hybrids. These are some of the most popular plug-in hybrids. You know, a lot of people bought plug-in hybrids many years ago when the electric range on a lot of EVs was lower. But now that we're seeing so much more electric range on regular EVs, more people are comfortable buying fully electric cars. But these are really great. They have a good electric range. So many people do most of their driving on electricity, especially if they can plug them in at home or at work or regularly, and then save the gas tank for road trips. Okay, we're done with the EV showcase, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about, what are the advantages of leasing versus buying? Because this question typically comes up in our webinars. So really, this is a personal, it's a personal financial decision. And these are some things to consider when you're deciding whether to buy or lease an EV. I'll just say, as I mentioned before, 3/4 of all EVs purchased acquired are leased. And some of the reasons are that EVs have new technology, and the technology is changing all the time. So people want to sort of try out this new technology for 2 or 3 years. So they can easily lease the car for 2 or 3 years. And then you can always buy out your lease if you want. Or if the technology has changed and there's a new EV that you're interested in, you could lease a new car. I would say right now, the advantage to leasing is that there are really great lease deals available right now. We're seeing like many in the $200 to $300 dollar a month range with about 2,500 down. Again, leasing costs depend on your credit scores and such. This is a way to lower your monthly payments, so low monthly payments. And again, getting around the restrictions on the federal EV rebate, there are no restrictions. So there are no income restrictions. The car doesn't have to be manufactured in the US. So it's a way for people to get the EV that they want. If the EV that they want doesn't qualify or they don't qualify with the income caps. Yeah, the one thing to consider when you return your lease, there may be fees for excess wear, and there are mileage limits. So when you lease an EV, you would lease it maybe for 10,000 miles a year, or 12,000 or 15,000 miles a year, depending upon your driving needs. And of course, if you drive 10,000 miles a year, it's going to be a lower lease price. And in terms of that excess wear, every manufacturer offers some sort of contract that you can sign. You pay a little extra upfront, and you don't have to worry if there's excess wear or a dent here and a scratch there. So buying an EV does have a higher upfront cost, and your monthly payments are typically higher, but there are no monthly payments after the loan ends, and then you have the car. Yeah, there is that income cap for the federal EV rebate. You can drive unlimited miles. There may be long-term cost savings if it's kept for many years. Not really sure what the resale value it's going to be at the end of its life as battery technology evolves. But those are just a few things to consider. Okay, so the next section of the webinar is all about charging EVs and a little Q&A and a segment on the CCAs who are funding this webinar and who are providing you with clean electricity. People do get worried about charging, but for most people, 80 to 90% of charging is done at home or at work, and that is easy. You just plug in a charger that comes with your vehicle into a standard 120-volt outlet. There are no install costs besides perhaps a heavy-duty grounded extension cord. It gives you between 30 and 40 miles of charge in 8 hours. And presumably you would be doing that charging during the off-peak time of your time of use rate plan. In the Bay Area, on average, people drive 25 miles a day. So this simple solution called Level 1, plugging into a standard outlet, works out for most people. If you drive more than 40 miles a day, a good option is to see if you can charge at work. And if not, you may want to purchase a home charging station for Level 2 charging. You'll get about 25 miles in an hour, so you can easily get a full charge overnight. I do want to point out that charging an EV is different from fueling up a gas car. When I had my gas car, I would wait till the tank went down to 1/8, which probably was not smart, but that's how I rolled. And then I would go fill it up. And then I would drive it all week, and then I'd go back to the gas station and fill it up. But with an EV, if you have access to charging at home or at work, you're really just topping off the electricity that you used each day. For me, that is going from about 60% of battery charge to 80% on a daily basis. It's very rare to charge from 10% to 100% daily. So I have two EVs and I have access to Level 1 charging and Level 2 charging at home. When I use my Level 2 charging, I'm really only charging mostly for about an hour or an hour and a half because I don't drive that much. So most of the time I can just plug it into the standard outlet and charge that way. It's easy and affordable. Another thing that I just wanted to mention, when you do if you do plan to get Level 2 charging, is really the biggest expense is just wiring a 240 volt outlet to close to where you're going to park your EV so that it's accessible. And then you can either use an adapter that comes with the charging cable that comes with your EV and just plug that right into the 240 volt outlet, plug it into your car, and you're good to go. That's what I do with my two EVs. And you can also buy a charging station. And that's something that you could buy at a big box store or even online. You just plug that in to the 240 volt outlet. For Level 1 and Level 2, the first step is to consult with an electrician. We do have an online resource in our buying and driving guide that will help you determine the right charging station. We also offer EV 102 webinars when people are really close to getting an EV or after they've already gotten an EV, where we go into a little more detail on charging. So there are many public Level 2 chargers available. Many of these are, ChargePoint or Shell Recharge, Flow. You'll see, a few different brands. So you can charge when you're around town, running errands at a slower rate. I love when I go to my local farmer's market, I plug in for an hour, pick up 25 miles of range. And at that particular charging station, it costs me $1. So that's really affordable. That's my favorite Level 2 charger to go to. But when you're on a road trip, you will want to fast charge with a Level 3 charger, which is the fastest charging available. There are currently 3 standards for fast charging. The one on the left is CHAdeMO, that is only used for Nissan Leafs through model year 2025. The one in the middle is a CCS charger that is used for most EVs, and the one on the right is the Tesla charger. So there is something that's quite groundbreaking right now. And so basically, in the United States, we've adopted the Tesla charger as the North American charging standard. That's what it's called. We can abbreviate it as NACS. So this means that gradually, every EV is going to be able to charge at the Tesla supercharging stations. And this is really quite an advantage. There are so many Tesla supercharging stations, like up and down California, throughout the United States. You can drive easily from the Bay Area to New York using the Tesla supercharging network. And it is very reliable, like 98 to 99% reliability. We haven't seen that sort of reliability with other Level 3 chargers. So this is really great. Many EVs now can qualify for getting an adapter that you can plug in so that you can charge at the Tesla supercharging stations. Some of the Kias and the Hyundais have this NACS port built in already to the EV. So that's very convenient. There's no need for an adapter. And eventually, all of the EV manufacturers were moving to this charging standard. So all EVs are going to have that native Tesla charging port. So that's really good news. It opens up so many more charging options for people. And there is a federal tax credit available through the end of this year for rooftop solar and storage. Also for all other home electrification projects. I'm just going to plug that right now while I can through the end of the year. But if you're not ready for solar, our CCAs and small utilities offer clean, renewable energy and affordable electricity during the special time of use rate plans. So they all have a special EV time of use rate plan. You do need to have an EV. You have to submit the VIN number to switch over to that rate plan. And I will say, most of the time, if you have that rate plan, electricity is half the price. And that's between midnight and 3 p.m. It's twice as expensive to charge your EV between 4 and 9 p.m. But these plans also offer very clean electricity with, powered up by solar farms and wind turbines. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about what a CCA is, and just want to plug again that this campaign is made possible through the support of your clean energy providers. So basically, these are community choice aggregators, or CCAs. They buy and build the energy supplies from clean sources like solar and wind energy. PG&E owns the lines. They deliver energy. They repair the power lines. They do the billing, and they offer service for customers. And customers here in the Bay Area, in the service area of San Jose Clean Energy, PCE, Silicon Valley Clean Energy, are all benefiting from cleaner energy under a not-for-profit local control. These are all nonprofit organizations. Most people are actually getting their electricity from CCAs because it is an opt-out program. And also, electricity tends to be less expensive if you're getting it from your CCA than from PG&E. Not only cleaner, but a little bit less expensive as well. The CCA movement has allowed communities to have more choices and transparency over their electricity options. There are 25 CCAs in California, and 14 million customers are taking advantage of this in 200 plus cities and counties. And they have generated more than 18 gigawatts of new solar, wind energy storage, geothermal, and demand response resources. So I'm going to talk a little bit about each CCA that is funding this campaign. So Peninsula Clean Energy, or PCE, they have a used EV rebate for $2,000 for used EVs or plug-in hybrids. That stacks with the PG&E rebate, so you would qualify for both of those. And if you qualify for the state grant, that also stacks with these. Currently, the federal tax credit also stacks with this. And you'll see that the income cap lines up perfectly with the federal tax credit income cap. So $75,000 if you file singly, $112.5 for head of household, and $150,000 if you file jointly. Just like with the federal tax credit, the vehicle has to be a 2023 model or older. You must reside in San Mateo County or the city of Los Baños. You can apply at a participating dealer for this instant rebate, or at any dealer for a post-purchase rebate. So if you get this at any dealership, you can apply for this $2,000 rebate after the fact. San Jose Clean Energy is going to be offering EV rebates for new and used EVs starting in September. So that aligns really nicely with our September campaign for people who.
Annika, I don't mind taking it from here if you don't mind, actually.
Okay,
I
great.
appreciate you. Yeah. Thanks for setting this up so well. Yeah, for anyone living in San Jose, this deal will start September 1st, and it will be immediately available to anyone who is already receiving CARE or FARA energy assistance. That's something you can apply for through PG&E. So that's the California Alternative Rates for Energy program or the Family Electric Rate Assistance program. You would just qualify based on income for either of those. And if you're already on that, then you're instantly qualified for this program. And like the EV discount through Ride and Drive Clean, this is an instant rebate at the dealership. So it takes the dollar amount right off the sticker price of the car there. There's no paperwork and there's no getting the rebate later. It's instantly off the price. So I saw one of the questions in the chat actually was asking how much can you save in total with all of these rebates stacked together? Well, if you were to stack the EV discount with Ride and Drive Clean with the federal tax credit, and you qualify for the Clean Cars for All rebate, all of those things would come to $23,500 off in September. And that's not including our discount. So you would get 23,500, and then you could stack ours on top of it. So for some of those low end models, you can get a new EV for less than $10,000, which is pretty shocking. Cheaper than some used EVs without the rebates. So yeah, that's a program that we're offering in September, and in October it will kick into people who qualify for the area median income. If you fall below 100% of your area median income, which actually turns out to be over half of San Jose residents, you will qualify for this in October. So yeah, scan the QR code there if you would like to learn more about this. If you're a San Jose resident, and you'll be put on an email list, so we'll notify you when the rebate becomes available. Just giving you a heads up, since it is 2 weeks away, it's easy to forget with all this stuff going on, but we'll email you and remind you. And yeah, it's really great that we can stack all of this in September, making September the best month in years to get an EV used or new or leased, with all of these programs working together. So yeah, if you're thinking about it, September, easily the best month to do it. And Annika, thanks for your time for this.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. We will be including information about all of these additional rebates in our follow-up email. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Silicon Valley Clean Energy Rebate. They offer a $2,000 EV rebate for new or pre-owned. The vehicle price limit is $55,000. It has to be $55,000 or less. It's available for new, whether you purchase or lease, and also for pre-owned EVs. There's a simple online application. You get that rebate check in about 4 weeks, which is really nice when you get that check in the mail. These all stack with the PG&E rebate as well, if for pre-owned, if you're going pre-owned. And yes, here are so a little information about the income qualifications. And you can see on this map all of the different cities and towns that qualify for that are part of the Silicon Valley Clean Energy service area. Okay, as promised, I was going to talk briefly about the about charging options if you live in an apartment or a condo. And the question really was, is it worth getting an EV? So it really sort of depends on your lifestyle and how if you can manage it. There are many people who live in apartments and condos who drive EVs, and it is possible. So some things that people do, they charge on just plugging into a standard outlet. Sometimes that's available where you park your EV, and that is ample for most people. There are these new smart outlets that are also inexpensive solutions to charging that also handle billing. There's a little installation involved in that, and you actually use your phone to start your charging session and end it, and you connect your billing source or your payment source to your app when you do that. People charge at work, and there's more and more workplace charging available all the time, as there are more and more public chargers available all the time, and that's something that people do. The nice thing about public chargers is that they're often located in a shopping center where you can do your grocery shopping and run errands while you're charging. I've even had a few people who come onto my webinars who say, I don't mind charging. I love my EV. I just want to drive electric. I just keep a book in my car and I'll go charge for 20 minutes, 30 minutes and read my book. It's my quiet time. And it allows me to read. So sort of depends on who you are and how that can work in your lifestyle. If you don't have charging in your apartment or condo complex currently, advocate for it. The more people ask for it, the more likely it is that you will get it. And you can also reach out to your local CCA, Peninsula Clean Energy, Silicon Valley Clean Energy, and San Jose Clean Energy to let them know you're interested in getting, EV charging locally. So taking a road trip is getting simpler all the time. There are thousands of public charging sites that provide fast charging, and using apps like PlugShare and a better route planner, it's easy to plan a trip at home before you head out and then use the app while you're on the road trip. Also, many newer EVs have really great navigation systems built into the car, so it's very easy to find a charger when you're on the road. Electrify America, EVgo, Tesla, and ChargePoint are some of the more popular fast charge point operators in California. So if you do get an EV, I suggest that you download all those apps so that you have them conveniently located on your phone. You do have to connect them with a credit card. So, you don't want to be on a road trip in the middle of the desert having to deal with this. So that's something to consider. And yes, as we talked about, the availability of this, the NACS, the North American Charging Standard on all EVs. It's already available on many EVs and coming to other EVs and through adapters. This is really going to change the whole road trip level 3 charging kind of landscape that we have now. So it'll be very easy to charge when you're on a road trip. All right, so a little more about Ride and Drive Clean. We really are here to help people switch to driving electric. We do the education and we organize these campaigns to help you afford an EV. We also offer our, so again, it's already been said, but we have this current EV discount campaign. We'll offer another one in September. Not sure what the vehicles are yet, but they will be announced and we will let you know. We also do EV and e-bike expos where you have a chance to talk to EV owners and see some cars from dealers. You'll see a variety of EVs and e-bikes all in one place. So it's kind of like one-stop shopping. It's nice to be able to sit in all of the different EVs there, see what it feels like, make sure you can adjust those seats so that they're comfortable on your back. Make sure you don't have any blind spots, that you're just comfortable in the cars. And each one is a little different. We do have an EV and e-bike show coming up in Palo Alto this Saturday from 11 to 2. So come out and join us. We will put the link to sign up for that event in the chat and in the follow-up email as well. And we have these EV and e-bike webinars ongoing. Even if you came to this one tonight, feel free to join us on Friday at noon. If you have more questions, we'll always have a live Q&A. And I know we learn things in layers, so it's a lot to take in, all of this information. And if you want to refresh, feel free to come back. We'll be offering some more webinars in September as well. When our September EV discount campaign goes live, we'll be able to feature and showcase those specific EVs that are going to be part of that campaign. So I'd like to thank you all for attending this program today, wherever you are in your journey to an EV. I hope it was helpful. I would like to again thank Peninsula Clean Energy, San Jose Clean Energy, and Silicon Valley Clean Energy for sponsoring the webinar and our September EV discount campaign. If you can make the switch to driving electric now, we're here to help you. The sooner, the better. If you're not ready now, can we have your support by pledging to make your next car electric? Our biggest ask really is please don't buy a new gas car. It will be on this earth emitting carbon emissions and air pollution for 12 to 15 years, and we have to stop doing that as quickly as possible. Again, I want to thank you all for your interest in going electric and for attending this webinar as a first step perhaps in your journey to an EV. Haley.
Thanks. There was some mention before about there being a backlog, so
There is a backlog for a grant, a California state grant called Drive Clean Assistance Program. It's a low income grant.
Okay,
Yeah, it's something that you apply for in advance. And
gotcha.
yeah, they thought it would take 2 to 4 weeks to get it, but it's taking probably more like 6 weeks to get it. But there's currently no backlog on inventory or EVs at all. So now is a great time to get an EV.
Thank you. And I have another question. I read in the Washington Post, been driving a 2001 Prius for 25 years, and I'm trying to find a car like it. And I read in the Washington Post that this writer's opinion was that plug-in hybrids are more environmental than EVs because they have a smaller battery, so you're hauling less weight around. Of course, that depends on where you're getting your energy from, but I wondered if you had any opinion about that.
Yeah, I would say that there are more advantages to getting a fully electric EV for most people. If you have, charging at home and you can charge during the, off-peak time of use rates, the maintenance costs are much less for fully electric EVs, 40% less. With the plug-in hybrid, you have two different systems to manage. You still have to do oil changes and smog checks and such. And the nice thing about the batteries is that there's a second life for EV batteries. We really haven't seen that many EV batteries or EVs at the end of their life yet. Maybe some of those early Nissan Leafs, but there is a whole new use. They're very useful, even if there's been a little battery degradation to store electricity. This is something that our utilities are very interested in. So this extra storage can help. If we don't quite have that technology yet, where people are working on this technology, but it will help feed electricity into the grid or into our homes as needed, as like kind of a backup battery. And then 98% of the materials in EV batteries can be recycled. And that includes the rare earth minerals that we know are sort of like the ugly part of EV batteries. So even those are being repurposed. So they're being pulled out of the battery packs, kind of purified and then reused for EV batteries.
Okay, and that's not true of the plug-in hybrids then?
No, that is as well. But when we're talking about the bigger battery packs.
I see, yeah, okay. I had one other question, but I can't. Anyway, thank you very much.
Yeah, but I would really say it really depends on your lifestyle. If you have easy access to charging, for some people, they're not quite ready to make the leap to a fully electric car. And, you could do a lot of your driving on electricity if you can charge every day and then use that gas tank as a back, on road trips.
Great, thank you so much.
Yes, there are Jeeps.
Oh, I know what my other question was. What was the name of the eMotion auto? Like emotion?
Yes.
eMotion. Okay.
Yeah, eMotion autos. I think I put it here. I'm going to add it again to the chat so it's right there at the bottom for you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure.
Annika, I don't know. Can I just talk?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. A couple questions. I understood that you had to have cars in hand by September 30th to get the federal rebate. So you can't just sign a contract. You have to have the car.
Well, typically you sign your contract when you take delivery of your car.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, that makes sense. All right. Now,
but plan ahead because we really don't know. We imagine that the federal government is going to be very strict on this September 30th date. So that's why we're really trying to get out, ahead of that date with these webinars and letting people know, to.
Right. Another question is, I'm not in your service area, so I'm in Mill Valley. So what discounts actually apply for me in that case?
Yes. So I'm actually also in Marin County, and it is, we have MCE, so MCE Clean Energy, and they also have rebates. They have a $3,500 rebate for new EVs and a $2,000 rebate for used. I would suggest using the savings calculator to find out exactly what you qualify for, because you'll have to put in your income, your household income, and how many people live in your household to determine whether you qualify. These rebates from our CCAs are in some ways like equity measures. We're really trying to make sure EVs are available to everyone. And
Right.
so they are more on the low income scale of things.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, and well, I guess I should just fill out your form and go from there. I think I know what I want already, and I think I'm ready to start talking to Cartelligent about whether we can get the car we want in time. So,
Yes. Oh, it's typically you can get one in less than a week with Cartelligent
okay.
in just a few days. So especially if you know what you want. So that's why like this is a really great time to go and do some test drives if you're not really sure. And we recommend if you go to a dealership and you're interested in participating in our discount campaign with Cartelligent, you can do your test driving at a dealership and then you can just maybe don't start the negotiation process.
Right. Well, I think I already know what I want. I don't think I even have to drive it. So
Okay.
So let's see. Where do I get your form then? On your website?
Sorry, I'm going to put that right now. If you're ready and you're interested in one of those 4 EVs
Yeah.
that is available during our discount campaign, the form is, I just put it in there. You can review the EVs on the screen. Here, I'm going to actually share my screen so I can kind of review that process with you.
Okay, I'm not sure I know how to get that form.
Yes, I am going to take you there right now on
right.
the
Okay.
screen. So I put the link in the chat. So if you click on that, it should be up on your, up on your computer. I will also include this in my follow-up email. And so if you go to our website, rideanddriveclean.org, and go up to Save Money, you'll see EV discount campaign.
Okay. All right.
And this page will appear. And you can review the 4 EVs so that you're very clear on the pricing and such. And then there's a form right below. So you fill out the form and you can choose here. Here you can say yes. It's a little small, actually. You can say yes. I know what I want. And there we go. Yes, I know what I want. I have it down to a couple options even, and I would like Cartelligent to call me.
Yeah, okay.
Great.
Good.
And then if you're, for those of you who are just not quite ready, like you want to sign up with them, but you're not quite ready, you want to do some test driving first, you can say no, but please, keep us informed. Down here, you can choose which EV you're interested in just so that the advisor has a little bit of a heads up. And if you're interested in a different EV or plug-in hybrid, you can put that in there. Cartelligent does trade-ins. And so if you're if you're interested in doing a trade-in, you could put that information in this box here. Or if you have any other information, like I want a blue car, you can put that here. Or I want this trim level, whatever you want to put in here, you're welcome to add. And then you hit the submit form. This form is connected to Cartelligent's database, so they will be in touch within 24 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good, thank you. Haley, do you have another question or is your hand still raised?
Hello, hi. Yes, I do have a question. So for the San Jose rebate program, I saw on your slides, it's saying that it starts in September 1st, right? So to get qualified and then to purchase the new car or used car, I'm not sure if that will conflict with the expiration date of the federal tax rebate.
So I think there will be, so that's why it's really great that you are here now, starting to do your research. This is a great time to test drive your EV and find out, a bunch of, whichever EVs you want and find out exactly which one you want so that you're ready to go. On September, in September when our discount campaign goes live, which will be about the first week in September, the San Jose rebate will be available at point of sale at the dealership. So you will be able to get that EV, that extra discount through the discount campaign.
I see. So, for example, like a Tesla, you can buy from Tesla.com, right? So,
Yes.
which means that I should buy after September 1st to apply
Yes.
this.
If you want to take it, if you qualify for the San Jose Clean Energy Rebate, then you can just purchase, purchase on September 1st. That's fine. If you know what you want and you're not going to go through our campaign, then that's great. We just want you to get an EV. It doesn't matter really where you get it. We hope if we're organizing this campaign to help you save money, but if you are going for a car that's not on this campaign, it's fine. You can go wherever you want. September 1st would be fine. If you want to go through our September campaign and take advantage of the San Jose Clean Energy Rebate, wait for an email, and then you can sign up with Cartelligent in early September.
Got it. Thank you.
Sure. Beth.
Hi, Annika. Thank you so much for all this great information and all that you're doing to encourage us to transition to electric. I just wanted to understand a little bit more about Cartelligent and what obligation we have if we were to fill out the form, and if it were, well, I'm not down to the single car yet, I'm interested in 3. I mean, is that something that they're open to working with us on? I'm not sure if I want to buy cash or if I want to finance or if I want to lease. What's their tolerance level? What is their expectation? What do they need?
That's a very considerate question. So thank you for that. If you have it down to a few EVs and you have questions about purchasing or leasing, this is a great time to talk to Cartelligent. I mean, have you had a chance to test drive those cars yet?
You know what? I'll be honest. I had the Mach-E question. I've test drove a Mach-E. I've driven a Tesla, and I'm interested in the Ioniq 5. Unfortunately, Ioniq 5, where I live, it's Vallejo or Fairfield or I don't know, San Bruno or something. So also in Marin County, actually. So getting that test drive for the Ioniq has not happened yet, but
Okay.
Hopefully I would take care of that, or maybe they could help me find it. But
Well,
yeah.
you could do a test drive in Richmond. There's the Hanleys. I think that might be the closest one. If you're
in Hilltop, you're right.
Hanleys
You're
Hilltop
right.
has one
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. There's one in Petaluma as well, if you'd rather go up
Right.
that way. Yeah.
No, you're right. Richmond. So anyway, I'm getting there.
Yes. Well,
With the
that's
test
great,
drives.
because I think that might help you narrow down your options a little bit. I mean, Cartelligent can help you narrow down your options. And that could help as well, just to really make sure you're getting the car that you're comfortable driving. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay,
And
I'd
they'll
like to-
totally explain, cash, financing versus leasing to you. And so that's not a problem.
Excellent. Thanks so much.
interrupting here. I don't know how to raise my hand, as you put it.
That's okay.
So one more question then. I'm planning on coming down to your EV show this weekend, I guess.
Oh, great. In Palo
And
Alto.
will I be able to talk to Cartelligent there?
Yes, Cartelligent will be there at the EV show.
Okay, so then that's the easiest way to do it. I'll just see you there.
Okay, great. I would fill out the form first, though, maybe.
I will.
Or fill out. If you fill out the form, that allows you to qualify for the exclusive discount and to
Right.
have their service fee waived.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to thank you all. I know we're a little over time, and I appreciate you all having the patience to stick with this webinar, and I hope you're getting all of your questions answered.